People sentenced in the 80s 2000s. What modern world change shocked you the most? A co-worker a few years ago had spent 10 years in jail. He got out right when Bluetooth headsets for phones were huge. He'd talk about all the random conversations he thought people were trying to have with him, and smartphones freaked him the hell out. Well, tell him it's okay. I was confused a few times by those two. Once I thought a woman had a mental problem because she was talking to herself. Then she turned, and I saw the earpiece. Bluetooth headsets are a godsend to schizophrenics everywhere. I hired a guy that was released after 17 years, circa 2005. A week after he started working he bought a phone. He had a childlike wonder with push to talk and texting. A week later he was pissed off that he couldn't text his order into Hungry Hours. To be honest, it's a valid thing to be pissed off about. Wait, this guy's right. Why can't we text orders? Because here's what would happen. Customer 2 med pepper and 16 wings GHX. Pizza place, thank you for your order. Our pizzas come in small, 12 inches, and large, 15 inches. Which size did you want? Did you mean our spicy pepper delight deal or the pepperoni? Can I also please take your delivery address? Customer, in a Coke. This made me irrationally angry. No matter what year you go in, when you come out and stand on carpet for the first time is the most disturbing feeling. Oh whoa, I felt this one. And darkness. Being able to be in 100% darkness again freaked me TF out for a while. Darkness, complete silence, showering without sandals, couches / chairs with cushions, and a bed that's actually long enough for me. Those were such odd yet amazing things / feelings to experience again. There was that documentary of someone who was sentenced in the 70s, Otis I think, and he just couldn't believe the stuff he was seeing. Since he lived in New York, with all the screens it was just a different city, then all the different colored drinks and people wearing earphones, like they were in the Secret Service. It's an interesting thing to watch. Dear fellas, I can't believe how fast things move on the outside. I saw an automobile once, when I was a kid, but now they're everywhere. The world went and got itself in a big damn hurry. The parole board got me into this halfway house called The Brewer and a job bagging groceries at the Foodway. It's hard work. I try to keep up, but my hands hurt most of the time. I don't think the store manager likes me very much. Sometimes after work I go to the park and feed the birds. I keep thinking Jake might just show up and say hello, but he never does. I hope wherever he is, he's doing okay and making new friends. Brooks was here. My uncle went away when fanny packs were in, and when he got out in the mid 2000s we had to break the news to him. You can tell him they are back. I see them everywhere now. Knew a guy who was blown away by digital cameras. He had purchased an old terrible one and couldn't get over how amazing it was. Cameras truly have come a long way, and hear people on Instagram trying to find 15, 30 years old cameras for aesthetic. I was talking to a lady who runs the education for a federal prison in Florida. She said when they start getting rambunctious or off topic, she mentions a new feature of the newest iPhone and all of a sudden they're very interested in what she has to say again. That's pretty clever. News from the outside world. Got a call from a woman filing a claim on some abandoned funds. I got all her information and then asked for an email address, and she said, what's email? I keep hearing about it, but you gotta understand I've been in prison a long time. I'm honestly surprised there aren't mandatory classes in prison that help keep people up to date on current events and technologies. It would go a long way to help ex-cons function normally in society once they get out, and isn't that the whole goal of the prison system? Do you think they'd cover modern mems in juvie? Finally, a good idea on how to get community service hours. Mems 101, Dancing Baby, the original gangster meme. Now I can't get the image of a super burly prison officer teaching kids in juvie about current memes out of my head. Please use the meme in a sentence. After I stabbed the guy, I yeeted the shiv over the fence. Edit, my dudes, it's a meme. I'm not changing it to yote, chill. This is the best comment I've seen in weeks. My cousin's husband, that she married while he was serving 10 years beginning around 2008, wanted the first thing he did as a free man was to go to Hollywood Video and rent movies to watch with her. Then she blew his mind with Netflix. At least the idea of Netflix and chill wasn't far from his original plan, but he was shocked about there not being video stores anymore. Without sounding disrespectful, what made her marry someone while they were serving time? Did she already know him? I'd imagine that would be a very difficult decision, to commit yourself to someone you know you can't properly be with for 10 years. You don't have to answer if this question is too personal. They dated before he got busted. She's somehow responsible for getting busted. If she didn't cheat during these 10 years, I have a very strange type of respect to her. A friend said his dad's friend tried VR after about 30 years in prison for like second-degree murder or something, and he got scared, fell over and broke the headset. Being a part of society my whole life, it was still a pretty big mind F when I first tried VR. Can only imagine what it'd be like to be locked up for 30 years to just jump into VR. Prisoner transfer I did one time for this man who was sentenced to life in 1968, and it's the first time he'd driven past the CN Tower in Toronto and he couldn't believe how tall it was. That and he was blown away by how many different car brands there were. Frick, 1968 is a long time. My friend's older brother was jailed in 1994 and served 15 years. He said when he went in, anyone with an in-car phone was super rich, and to then see absolutely everyone have a completely cordless pocket-sized phone was amazing. He also said that all the TV adverts had websites to visit or were for completely online stores, which were a bit of an alien concept, as he'd never really seen or used the internet. He also found the chip and pin process of paying for things on a bank card extremely exciting. Edit. I'm unfortunately not in touch with the friend anymore after an incident with the haddock and the umbrella, so I can't get any further answers to your questions about his brother. Last I heard was around 2012, and he seemed to be doing okay and had a job and a place to live. I remember getting the bus years ago, and this old bloke got on heading away from town center towards the more residential areas. Without a second thought he sparked up a cigar. One of the passengers told him you can't smoke on a bus. He apologized and quickly stubbed it out, but said he got discharged from prison that day, and when he went in you could smoke anywhere you wanted, so this was a massive culture shock to him. You have been sentenced to 10 years for smoking on the bus. Ah frick. Ah shoot, here I go again. I remember helping a guy who went in 2005, got released 2014. Had a black and green AudioVox phone in his effects and asked where he could activate it. I had to explain that it wouldn't be happening lol. Like 3 months later, ick now, I like the iPhone, but I'm gonna wait for the release of the newest one. Adapted pretty quick. Not me personally, but we had an older guy rent out a room in our house a few years back. Usually we rented it out to students, but someone let us know that he had just moved to our city and needed something temporary until he found permanent accommodation. It was a bit frustrating because this guy would not use the internet to search for a car or place to live, didn't know how it worked, and didn't trust it. We tried to help him learn how because we thought he was just old and stubbornly resisted technology, but nope. Turns out that he had spent 11.5 years in maximum security prison after being framed by WA police for murder in the mid-90s. Came out with trust issues and a dislike for the "new internet." Edit. Western Australian, not Washington police. And here's his Wikipedia page for those interested in his case. Was it this guy? Yes. I just found out that he was killed in a car accident recently. Poor guy got a dealt a rough hand. Effing hell man. Sounds like a setup. I've seen Secret City. Government wanted that money back. Sort of joking aside, that's really terrible. I asked a friend what the hardest thing was for him readjusting to being free again. This is a roundabout of what he said. Closing doors. I'd leave the fridge open every time without fail for months. You're not allowed to open or shut anything for yourself. And I'd accidentally let the pets outside by forgetting I needed to close the front door someone else had opened in front of me. You forget the last one in Rule CT and have to learn it all again. What was the thing you found you liked the most? Candy Crush. Gets phone back out and starts playing. 5 minutes later exclaim they've leveled up excitedly. So sweet. I represented a guy who had been in jail for 12 years. He got out around 2006. I asked him what the first thing he did was. He said I went to a McDonald's and changed my clothes. I asked him what the best part of being out was, and he said doing whatever I want, whenever I want, without asking permission, like taking a shower or going to sleep. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, leave a like or comment. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.